Books and authors. Library and information science. Important for any library exam. 1. George Kingsley Zipf is related to Psychobiology of Language, an introduction to dynamic philosophy. 2. Who is the author of Ramanujan, the Man and the Mathematician? S. R. Ranganathan. 3. The book library administration was brought by Ranganathan in 1935. 4. Who wrote Basic Reference Sources? Louis Shores. 5. Who is the writer of Living with Books? Miss H. E. Hess. 6. Who is the editor of Encyclopedia of Librarianship, Bose and Bose, London? Thomas Landor. 7. Who is the author of 5 Laws of Library Science, Madras Library Association, 1957? S. R. Ranganathan. 8. Who wrote Organization of Knowledge in Libraries and Subject Approach to Books, H. W. Wilson, 1933? Henry Evelyn Bliss. 9. Name the author of Grammar of Classification. 4th ed., 1955. W. C. Bewick says. 10. Could you name the author of A History of Library Association 1877 to 1977? W. A. Munford. 11. Whose autobiography is the book entitled And Master of None, 1955? Fremont Ryder. 12. Who is the author of Foundations of Education for Librarianship, 1972, that received the Scarecrow Press Award in 1974? Jesse H. Shera. 13. A Librarian's Memories, Portraits and Reflections, 1952. Who was its author? E. A. Savage, 1877 to 1966. 14. Who was the author of Punjab Library Primer? Asa Dawn Dickinson. 15. The 2 books American Library Resources and British Library Resources were compiled by the same person and are considered a sort of standard guides for the libraries in the USA and Great Britain respectively. Can you name the compiler? R. B. Downs. 16. Who is the author of Memoirs of Libraries, including a Handbook of Library Economy? Edward Edwards, 1858. 17. Name the author of Studies in Coordinate Indexing, Walls. 1-6. Mortimer Taub. 18. Ranganathan, a pattern maker, a synthetic study of his contributions. Who is the author of this book? A. P. Srivastava, Metropolitan, 1977. 19. Who wrote Manual of Library Classification and Shelf Arrangement? J. D. Brown, 1898. 20. Who edited the 5th edition of Sayre's Manual of Classification for Librarians? Arthur Maltby, Andre Deutsch, 1975. 21. Who is the author of Prolegomena to Library Classification? 3rd ed., Bombay Asia Publishing, 1967. S. R. Ranganathan. 22. Name the author of Principles of Book Classification. E. Windham Hulme, London, La, 1950. 23. Name the textbook on cataloging written by Susan G. Akers that was published by Allah. Simple Library Cataloging. 24. Name the editor of List of Subject Headings for Small Libraries, H. W. Wilson Co., New York. M. E. Sears. 25. Name the author of Rules for a Dictionary Catalogue. C. A. Cutter, 1876. 26. Who wrote the book The Modern Outline of Library Classification? J. Mills, 1960. 27. Who was the author of Classification, Theoretical and Practical? E.C. Richardson, 1901. 28. Who wrote The Theory of Book Selection for Public Libraries? L. McAlvin, 1925. 29. Who is the author of Books That Changed the World? Robert Bingham Downs, 1956. 30. Who is the author of Introduction to Cataloguing and the Classification of Books? Margaret Munn, 1943. 31. Who wrote Manual of Library Economy? J.D. Brown, editor of 7th edition of this book, R. Northwood Locke. 32. Who wrote the BSO Manual, The Development, Rationale and Use of the Broad System of Ordering? Eric Coates, Jeffrey Lloyd and Dusan Simandl. 33. Who is the author of Indian Library Literature and Annotated Bibliography? Ram Gopal Prasher, 1971. 34. Who is the editor of Making of Librarianship in Pakistan, 1987, a Festschrift volume in honor of Dr. Anis Khurshid? Syed Jalaluddin Haidar. 35. Who is the editor of March of Library Science, Kola Festschrift? V. Venkatapaya. 36. Who are the editors of Library Science today, Ranganathan Festschrift, Volume 1 and 2 respectively? Volume 1, P. and Kola. Volume 2, A. K. Dasgupta. 37. Who are the authors of the University Library, the organization, administration, and functions of academic libraries? Lewis Round Wilson and Maurice F. Tauber. 38. Who wrote the book Decimal Classification and Colon Classification in Perspective? R. S. Parkey. 39. Who is the author of Reference Service? S. R. Ranganathan. 40. Who wrote the book 5 Laws of Library Science? S. R. Ranganathan.